What's good, everyone? OJ here. Welcome back to another video. And today we're going to be talking about some good news and some bad news. And we're going to start off with the bad news. And The Last of Us Part 2 has been delayed, unfortunately. Now, I don't want to put any words in Sony and Naughty Dog's mouth, so let's go ahead and get right into what they had to say over there at Naughty Dog. Quote, "As you've likely just seen, the release of The Last of Us Part 2 has been delayed. We're sure this news is just as disappointing to you as it is to us. We wanted to reach out to all of you in our community to give you a little more information. The good news is we're nearly done with development of The Last of Us Part 2. We are in the midst of fixing our final bugs. However, even with us finishing the game, we were faced with the reality that due to logistics beyond our control, we couldn't launch The Last of Us Part 2 to our satisfaction. We want to make sure everyone gets to play The Last of Us Part 2 around the same time, ensuring that we're doing everything possible to preserve the best experience for everyone. This meant delaying the game until such a time where we can solve these logistic issues. We were bummed about this decision, but ultimately understood it's what's best and fair to all of our players. We're hoping that this won't be a long delay and will update you as soon as we have new information to share. We wish you all, your families, and your friends the best of health. Thank you for being amazing fans and your continued support. Stay safe, Naughty Dog." So let's talk about this, because this is interesting, right? They're delaying this because of CV. This is the reason why they are delaying this. This is the only reason why this game is being delayed. There's still time beforehand to fix all of these bugs and get everything ready to go before the May 29th release date, right? The only reason why this is being delayed, or probably the main reason why, is because they want people to be able to go out and buy the game physical in stores. That's still an option for them. This game has such a wide range of fans. Not everybody just wants to be able to buy the game digital, and unfortunately, because of the current times, that would be the case. And because of what's going on, that would be the case. And because people are a little bit strapped when it comes to cash in certain things because of work and all of that, they feel that there is no other way, there's no other option in order to delay this, because they have to make a lot of money. This game has to sell 10 million copies plus. This has to be a big seller. And if you're in the climate to where people don't have their jobs right now, or on unemployment, or being laid off, they can't go out there and buy the game physically, there's quarantines, there's so many other things, that is definitely going to affect the sales of this type of game with the audience that Sony has with The Last of Us Part 2. Now, this doesn't carry over to every single audience, right? Not every single game is going to be delayed because of the stuff that I mentioned, what's going on around the world. But for this game in particular, and for the type of copies that they need to sell, absolutely the game needed to be delayed. So I do understand it from that aspect, from that standpoint. It does make sense, because they would take a huge hit on sales for more of the casual side, the people that are looking for that cinematic experience with this, and they can't market it, and people just can't go out there and get the game. I know they have a big, huge audience in Italy, for example, and guess what? That place is quarantined to heck and back, and people just aren't feeling well there with what's going on. So you have to wait. You have to wait till the economic atmosphere is much better. You have to wait to where your audience is going to be able to fairly pick up the game. And they talked about that, right? Being fair to all of their audience. But let me ask you guys a question. I don't think Nintendo would ever actually troll them with this type of situation, but I definitely think they maybe took just a little bit of an advantage in terms of a delay of a big game like The Last of Us that I'm sure Nintendo knows the release dates just like we all do, because Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, that game's also launching on May 29th. Now, Nintendo obviously didn't care. When they put out that release date, they don't care. They're going to release their games when they're going to release their games, and I'm not sure if they care about what the other companies are doing, but pretty much like right after this tweet went up, for the most part, in terms of when I saw it, Nintendo put out a tweet for Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition coming out on May 29th and listing all the cool stuff. So they once again reaffirmed May 29th, regardless of what's going on, this game is still launching. So some people pretty much saw it as, wait a minute, what's going on here? This big game gets delayed. Now you guys are swooping in here and saying, hey, well, you can pick up Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition exclusively for the Nintendo Switch on May 29th. Now, I personally think that this was just Nintendo doing their marketing duties, because they did have a couple posts before that talking about like BioShock and the spring eShop sale that's going on. So I don't think that it was intentional or anything like that, but man, the timing looked like it, right? The timing looked like it. So I made a little joke on Twitter about it, but they did share something new with the game, and that is the official high quality box art, which you guys are seeing right here. And man, I have to save this to my PC. Does this look absolutely beautiful? They actually updated the box art, right? With the Titan in the back, it's updated to the new graphics in the game, right? The remade graphics. It looks way more in depth and detailed with that Titan, or not Titan, that's Xenoblade Chronicles 2, with that Bionis in the background. It just looks great. The feathers with the Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, the font and the colors that they use, the Monado colors of that red and pink kind of mixed together to get that nice color of red, that illuminating color. It's just absolutely amazing. The detail on the scrapped Mechanis there too as well, man. It's just so good. The individual blades of grass that are actually going to be even nicer this time around. Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition is the epitome of what you need to do for a remake, in my opinion, and this game is going to do extremely well. I'm fully expecting Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition to be the best-selling Monolith Soft game of all time. Even though it's a remake, so many people have asked about this game. This game lives on in legend when it comes down to it, in terms of the memes and what people are talking about. And with Super Smash Bros. For Wii U and Nintendo 3DS having Shulk, and people kind of saying, okay, well, who's this at this point, right? Because of how Nintendo handled Xenoblade Chronicles in terms of the original release here in the US. You have all of those years. Plus, you also have Xenoblade Chronicles 2, you have Xenoblade Chronicles Torna, you have the Definitive Edition, you have Shulk again in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. It's going to boost the popularity. The franchise has already been more popular than it's ever been, which I did talk about recently in a video, so I expect Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition to be absolutely amazing and sell great, even with what's going on right now. Because if you look at Animal Crossing, that game is continuing to do well, and of course, Nintendo has an area in Japan, right, that they can still sell, and people are still going out there and buying physical games. People are still going out there and buying physical, maybe not as much as they would have done, but still going out there and buying physical based on the sales for Animal Crossing continuing to have strong retail sales. So they did talk about this on Twitter, right? They put out, check out the official box art for Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, and they have a couple different check marks here. Let's go down those check marks. One check mark, all new epilogue story future connected, which is going to be hype. Next checkmark, 90 plus remastered music tracks. I was wrong on that. I said 90 by itself, but apparently 90 plus. So there's more than 90 remastered music tracks. That's another check mark. And then the final check mark, improve the visuals and gameplay. So yes, they are improving the gameplay. They are improving the frame rate. They are improving the text and the fonts and the UI and all the stuff that kind of was a little bit annoying with Xenoblade Chronicles, especially with the quest structure and how you accept them and how it looks on your UI. All of that has been retooled, rehauled, along with the great remade visuals. This is the time to play Xenoblade Chronicles. Heck, I even had some people saying, should I play Xenoblade Chronicles 2 first before I play this game? No, you should not. You should simply wait for Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. Then if you love this game, which you will if you like JRPGs for the most part, then try out Xenoblade Chronicles 2 or Torna the Golden Country. But this is the game to play, and it says it all arrives May 29th exclusively for the Nintendo Switch. You can pre-order, and I actually clicked the pre-order link to see what's going on with the physical copies of this game, and it says redeem game code, and you can go to pre-purchase or you can buy physical. So the game is pretty much done because you can pre-purchase it, you can download the game. It is done. It's not getting delayed. There's no way that they can delay it, not at this point, but the pre-orders are available at Best Buy and also at GameStop in my areas. So looks like the game is still going to be sold. I'm not sure if GameStop is going to be able to actually be open, because I know a lot of my GameStops are closed. I know some GameStops are actually having employees in there, then like they're like handing games out the door or something like that with like gloves on and stuff. So I'm not sure what's going on here, but Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition will be available for people to pick up. So if you want a physical edition, make sure you secure that, or maybe even like Walmart will probably have it, because Walmart is essential for most places here in the US. So maybe even Walmart will be able to have that, because some people can't find it at this point when it comes down to it. But Nintendo's just saying, hey, it's coming out no matter what. We're just going to ride this one out. But I think that they're going to be okay, because people are going to be looking for huge RPGs and other stuff to play. Hopefully we'll be out of this quarantine thing by then. I mean, I'm not really sure, but chances are that there's still going to be restrictions around the world, because things are almost kind of getting worse when it comes down to the confirmed cases and all of that. So who knows what's going to be happening around that time in terms of the severity of things, but it's still coming out, and I'm excited to play this game quite a bit, and I love the information that they put out there on Twitter. I like the new box art that they showed off there, the full high quality box art, so this is going to be pretty good. So unfortunate news for Naughty Dog and Sony fans with The Last of Us Part 2, but good news when it comes to Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition getting reconfirmed for May 29th, pre-purchase available to go, preload, ready to go, so the game is not being delayed at all. So what are you guys' thoughts on this bit of news? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Check out the link in the description. We've got Twitter. Go and give us a follow on there. Stay up to date on all the latest gaming news and information. Also, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video if you can. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll catch you guys for the next one. Peace.